The COVID pandemic could mean the end of American cinema as we know it. Last week, a group of Oscar-winning directors, including Clint Eastwood and Martin Scorsese, joined forces with movie theater owners for an appeal for financial help. They sent a letter to Congress calling for federal aid, saying 69% of small and mid-sized movie theater companies will be forced to file for bankruptcy or permanently close without help. Actor Chazz Palminteri joins us now. He's also a screenwriter, producer, and playwright, and owner of a restaurant here in New York City, as well as in White Plains. So, Chazz, thanks so much for coming on today. Let's talk about what's going on with Hollywood here and these movie theaters. As we know, Regal Cinemas just announced they're suspending operations at all U.S. theaters. Is it too late to bail out the industry?
Well, I hope not. I hope not. I really do. I don't think so. I think it's just going to take a little time. I think the theater, people always love to go to the theater to see a film. I mean, you know, they said when videos came, oh, that's going to be the death of the theater, and it wasn't. DVDs, it's going to be the death of the theater, and it wasn't. I think we'll survive the pandemic. I just think that Scorsese and Eastwood are right. I think we're going to need some help financially, and I think once we get that, and once we get some time, you know, behind us, I think we'll be okay, because people love going to the theater.
Yeah, you know, they miss it, and they want to make sure that it's safe now, too. And as you say, you know, we've seen federal funding for nearly every other industry and stimulus for other groups as well, including American citizens. It makes you wonder here where this falls on Congress's priority, right? As we know, you know, the Republicans are in control of the Senate right now, and maybe they're not Hollywood's biggest fan, and you could say the same, flip it back and forth too. Hollywood not their biggest fan. So realistically, do you think it'll come out anytime soon where we could see this money really going towards it?
I think so. I mean, the problem is the first thing to go in the government when they want to cut is the arts. And that's always a big mistake. The arts are very important. They always cut the arts in schools, and that is a problem. But the Republicans have to realize that, you know, people who watch movies vote, you know. So I think if you want people, you want everyone to be happy. Look, the pandemic's been very, very difficult for everyone. So I just think we need time behind us. I think Broadway's having the same trouble. I think it's going to take at least another, for cinema and for Broadway, I would say the minimum another year before it gets back to a little bit like normal. It's going to take a couple of years before we get back to normal, but really.
Yeah, here in New York City, we're still waiting for Broadway to reopen as well. And as you say, you think of all those actors, singers, and dancers, as well as the crew members as well, who are without work during this time. Your heart goes out to them. But, you know, what comes to mind, too, is this idea of trying to, you know, come up with a solution during a pandemic. And it gets people to be a little bit more creative. I'm thinking more of these outdoor theaters, perhaps these drive-in movie theaters. Is that a solution? Could we potentially bring the arts outdoors? I know just as we're starting to enter the cold weather seasons here, but could that be a solution?
Well, I think it's a good point you make, but I think it's obviously we live on the, you know, the East Coast, the Northeast. So for the weather, no. In the summer, in the spring, yes. I think we could do that. Some shows maybe could do that. I mean, but look at the restaurant. Look at the restaurant business. And, you know, I have two restaurants, one in Manhattan, one in White Plains, Chazz Palminteri's, and we were doing great. It was serving outside, but now the winter's here. So I think as far as shows go and Broadway and restaurants, it's going to take time. I keep telling people that it's just going to take time. I mean, do you want to get on a plane now and go and come to New York and get in a movie theater with 2,000 people? I don't think so. You're going to want to wait until there's a vaccine, until you feel a little secure. I just don't think a lockdown is the answer either, but I think we just have to go on with our lives. I think too many people are suffering. Look at all these, like you said, look at 69% of the small cinemas are going under. 69%. That is a lot, you know, so I think we're going to need help, but I think we just can't shut down the economy. We have to kind of like work in between. kind of like in the middle.
Yeah, definitely work to find some sort of solution here. Maybe something not everyone was anticipating to come back in full swing would be Saturday Night Live. If you tune it, not everyone always obviously does, since it has appeared to become a little bit more political in recent years.
Yeah.
But it did come back Saturday night after a few months off, and the actors immediately jumped on the president's COVID diagnosis. I want to play you a soundbite and get your thoughts.
It's been very weird to see all these people who clearly hate Trump come out and say, we wish him well. I think a lot of them are just guilty that their first wish came true.
So all those maskless rallies Trump was having, that was him being safe? Look, I don't want the president to die, obviously. Actually, I wish him a very lengthy recovery.
Chazz, your thoughts on that? Is it fair to be poking fun at the potentially deadly illness for the President of the United States?
Well, I think he's okay now, and we all could see that. And, I'm one of those guys, I hate to, when it comes to art and humor, I'm one of those free-for-all guys. I don't want anybody telling me what to do or telling me you can't write that. If you want to write something that's in poor taste, go ahead, but then you have to take the heat for it.
Right.
But I don't like to hold anybody back when it comes to being an artist. Look, Saturday Night Live is a great show, and Alec and Jim are just very talented guys. And hey, man, I think all bets are off when it comes to having fun. And he's okay now. Now, if he was very ill, then I would say, wow, that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But he's okay, and we can see he's going to be okay, so that's fine. I mean, if you want to look, but all bets are off. You can make fun of everyone. Look, I always say, when it comes to art, go for it.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Chazz Palminteri. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.